So, you're attempting to change your brakes maybe for the first time ever, or maybe you just need a refresher. I'm going to show you step by step how to do it. Very easy. I got some really cool tips and tricks along inside the video to help you out, and some really important steps a lot of people forget that they don't do that really could cause damage to your brake system, so you don't want to forget those. So let's get right to it. First, let's take that tire off. It's the only way we can get to the brakes. Next, we're going to slide some jack stands underneath the frame. Gotta do it. This is an absolute must. No questions about it. And lastly, let's take the wheel right off. As far as brakes go, the first thing we're going to do is locate the brake master cylinder underneath the hood. And we're going to just take this cap and open it up. Just crack it like that. It's okay, because we want to relieve any pressure that's going to build up when we compress that piston inside the caliper, so we don't do any damage to lines or anything like that. My first tip would be this, because we're going to try to get to these two bolts located on the back of the caliper. And yeah, you can get to them just like this, but it'd be easier if the wheel was facing this way and we have access to those bolts a little bit easier. So as long as both wheels are off the ground, just makes it a little bit easier, and your car is in ACC mode, so that's either one push of the button or one click of the key, you can move this with your hands if you want, or you can go in and turn the steering wheel as well. And now, as you see, we have much better access to the two bolts we have to get to first. On the back side of your brakes, you're going to see 3 bolts. 1, 2, and 3. Now the ones with the rubber boots, the upper one and the lower one, these are the bolts that we want to remove. These are the brake caliper bolts. This is what holds the caliper on the place. This third one in the middle here that is accompanied by a hose that's attached to it, that's actually called the banjo bolt. You don't want to remove that. That's what feeds all the fluid into your braking system. That one we keep attached. These are the ones, this upper and lower, we're going to remove. We're going to take our ratchet. This is actually a 14 mil bolt, and we're going to loosen these. There we go. That one's loosened. Let's do this bottom one. And you're going to remove these bolts. Upper one. And the lower one. You would think I can just take the caliper off, right? Not always that easy. A lot of times it's stuck on there. That's because the piston is extended outward, holding it on. You grab yourself one of these. It's a big old C-clamp. This is an 8-inch. And you're going to attach it to 2 points. One in the front of the caliper and one in the back, usually on one of the pads. And you're going to tighten it and squeeze it so you can compress that piston back that way in order to take the caliper off. That's the reason why we have the cap for the brake master cylinder cracked open, to relieve any pressure that's going to go back up into the system. Let me show you. Here is one point where I'm going to put one part of the C-clamp on, and here is the other point where I'm going to put the C-clamp on, and that's where we're going to squeeze that together to relieve pressure off that piston. Here's one point. I'm going to put the one end of the C-clamp right here on the caliper, and the other end is right in the front, as I showed you, and we're going to tighten this up. And the act of doing that is going to compress the piston, and then we can get this caliper off. So you want to tighten it until you start to see this caliper maybe even move a little bit. All right, so I just felt it actually kind of pop. So now we're going to loosen it up and see how this caliper all of a sudden is moving. We're going to move our C-clamp. And now you see the caliper is ready to come off. You want a place to hang this caliper. You shouldn't just let it hang onto the floor. It will stretch and ruin your brake lines. Now, I just use a hanger. They actually have caliper hanging brackets, but this metal hanger cost me nothing. So I'm going to take my caliper, I'm going to slide it through, and I'm going to hang it right there out of the way. It's good to go. We've already removed the 2 bolts that went into the slide pins here. Now we're going to remove the actual slide pin itself and put it aside, because this is a step that a lot of people skip. This is your slide pin, and we don't want to forget it. So we remove the upper, and now let's see if we can get this lower one out. And there's the lower slide pin. You want to remove these because we're going to use them later. Next, I'm going to remove the pads, the front and the back. They just come right out. And these retainer clips that are also in there. Top one and the bottom one. This next step is why I gave you that tip of turning your wheel out towards you, because you have to get to this bolt and this bolt, because this is what's holding this carrier on. And in order to get the rotor off, we have to take the carrier off. Now these bolts are torqued down pretty tight, so you're going to need either a breaker bar or a longer ratchet like this. Let's get in and take these off. There we go. We got the top one loosened. Let's see if we can get this bottom one. It's budging. There we go. Again, these are torqued down, usually 85, 90 foot-pound torque, so it's going to take a little oomph to get these out. Now you just want to remove these, and as you see, that whole carrier starts to move with it as well. And now the carrier slides right off. Let's quickly recap what we have here so you don't throw away parts that you're going to need later. Here's the carrier. Obviously, we're going to need this. We're going to clean this up because it is filthy. We're keeping that. These are the bolts that slid into the carrier that hold it onto the knuckle. These we're keeping and cleaning. Here's your slide pins. Remember, we took those out earlier. We have to clean those and keep those as well. Here's your brake pads. Obviously, we don't need these anymore. They can go in the trash. And here's the little clips that these go into. Those are trash as well. We don't need those. Keep, no keep. Time to take the rotor off. Easier said than done, especially with some vehicles that have this screw right here. It's a rotor retaining screw, and it holds the rotor into place. Pain in the butt. They're a pain in the butt. It looks like a Phillips head, and you could put one in there if you had a Phillips head 3 on this one, I believe, but chances are you're going to strip it, and now you're in a world of hurt. Good thing they make a tool for it. It's called a manual impact driver. Super cool tool. Costs 25 bucks on Amazon. I'm going to show you guys how it works. If you want the link to this tool, just comment below and I'll share it with you. Let me show you how easy it is to get this off. I'm going to show you guys how this manual impact works. This is a 3/8, so we're going to put our top on. We're going to insert a PH3 Phillips head into it. Now it's all set. We're going to insert it into the rotor screw here, and as we're pushing in and we're turning it to the left, not a lot, we're just turning it to the left, give us some pressure, we're going to hit the back side of this, and it's going to automatically spin and come off for us. Here we go. There you go. Only takes a couple hits. Now the rotor retaining clip screw is out. You want to save that? It's up to you. At this point, we just want to pull the rotor off. Before I show you guys how to reinstall the new brakes, I want to say congrats. You got the old ones off. It wasn't that bad, right? All right. Now, there are some steps along the way during reinstall that you got to focus on. I'm going to show you all those, some tips and tricks to make it a little bit easier. But awesome job getting the old ones off. Let's get the new ones on. I'm going to take this bracket that we took off. I'm just going to put it here. So I'm going to take some brake clean. We're going to clean it because it is filthy. And we don't want to reinstall it that way. And we'll take a wire brush to it and just try to get off some of this surface rust that's on it. After that, we're going to take our brand new shiny rotor and put that on first. We're just going backwards in the steps. Let's install that. And we're definitely going to take some brake clean to this as well, because they pack these with oil, and you want to make sure that it's nice and clean. And don't forget to hit the back side of the rotor as well. Now it's time to take our bracket and we're going to reinstall it over the rotor. We're not going to torque these two bolts down to spec just yet, but we are going to tighten them. I think in this application they're at 85 or 90 foot-pounds. Right now I just want to get them tightened up. Come on now. There we go. You're going to get some new clips with your brake pads, and you want to install these. And they're easy, and if you're unsure of the orientation or how it goes, my suggestion would be that you take some pictures prior to taking them off so that you know what it looks like when you're putting them back on. I say that with everything that I do. If I'm unsure, I'll snap a few photos of it, take a quick video of it. That way, when I go to reinstall, I'm certain of which direction things go. We're at the point now where we're ready to install our pads. Now, there is an orientation to this. Make sure that before you take the old pads off, you understand exactly how they go. This particular pad has this clip on it. This one does not. So if I wasn't paying attention when I was disassembling it, I wouldn't know what side this pad goes on. I know this pad goes inside and this clip is up, and this one obviously can only face one direction, but it's the front side. Here's another step that a lot of people miss. I'm going to take some brake caliper grease and I'm going to grease the ears. These are called the ears of the pads. So I'm going to put a little grease there, a little bit of grease there. Same with this one. We're going to grease the tips of the brake pads before we reinstall them back into the bracket. Getting pads in the first time you do it can be a little tricky, kind of stubborning it in there. Make sure that it's facing the shape of the rotor, which it is. This would be backwards, correct? This is forward. I turn it sideways, and you see the slot here and a slot here. So I put it in that slot, and then I just slide it right in. We'll do the same with the back side, noting that the orientation is with that clip facing upward. Back to the workbench. We're going to take our slide pins. We're going to clean them off because we're going to apply new grease to them. Get those nice and clean. And now we can add some new lubricant to them. Don't be shy with the amount of grease you put on your brake caliper slide pins. You don't want to overdo it for sure, but you want to make sure you have enough on as well. I'm going to take our slide pins and just reinstall them. There's the first one. And there's the second one. Brake pads are now in. The rotor is sitting flush. That's important to note. And we're going to take our two bolts, the two bracket bolts, to hold on the bracket, and we're going to torque it down to 79 foot-pounds. At least for this application. And we'll do the bottom one. I know what you're saying. You didn't use any Loctite on the two bolts you just tightened down. You're right. This vehicle does not call for it. Now, if you want to add some, go for it. It's not going to hurt anything. And this little rotor screw, are we going to reinstall it? Well, I'll tell you what, you don't need to. It's not a must. They do it in the factory when they're building the vehicle, but you don't have to reinstall. Normally I wouldn't. However, for the sake of this video, we will reinstall it just for you guys. There you go. Before we go in, put our caliper back on, we're going to put a little brake grease right here on the pad and right here on the pad. Kind of where it would line up with the caliper. This just helps with, oh, I don't know, quiet brakes. Just like that. Not a ton, but you want to do both sides. Front and the back side. Never, ever put brake grease on the rotor or obviously on the pad that touches the rotor. Only on the outside and those two spots that might hit. We can take our caliper off of our hanger, makeshift. Cheap, didn't cost me nothing. We're going to reinstall this caliper. These gloves are about 2 sizes too small for me, and it drives me crazy. Try not to get in your way. Try not to get in the cameras. There you go. All right, we got this in place. Now we just have to reinstall our two bolts. We'll do the upper bolt first. These do get torqued down to 25 foot-pounds, if I'm not mistaken, or 27. Have to look it back up. So we'll torque these down as well. There you go. And I was right the first time, 25 foot-pounds of torque. There's the top one. Hopefully y'all can see this bottom one. Very last step, brake clean. Since we've been touching this rotor, it's dirty. We're going to spray it real clean. Get all over the front, and the back, just like that. Good to go. That's it. You guys did it. Congratulations. But wait, there are a very couple important things you got to know. First, brake master cylinder cap got to be put back on. Can't forget that. That'd be devastating. Second, when you get into the car, pump the brakes a few times. Going to be soft at first. That's okay. Then you should build up some pressure, and then you're good to go. Those are two very important things. You can't forget them. All right, so congratulations. You guys did it. Brakes, maybe for the very first time ever. Awesome. Maybe just a refresher. If you liked the video, hit a thumbs up, comment. Tell me what you liked, disliked, etc. How did it go if this was your first time? Comment below. Let me know. Lots of videos on the channel. Just took a 1979 CJ for a 150-mile ride. That was insane. If you guys didn't see that video, check it out. Whole great video. Check that out. I'm here to help. That's what I love to do, help. So comment with any questions, brakes or not. I'll help you out. See you guys on the next video.